Hi, my name's Emily Putz, and I'm a Habitat Stewardship Coordinator for Nature Saskatchewan's Species at Risk programming. Specifically, I coordinate the Stewards of Saskatchewan Rare Plant Rescue Program. So I went to school right here in Regina, and I graduated from the University of Regina in 2015 with a degree in biology with concentration in ecology and environmental biology. So I work in conservation biology, meaning I work a lot with plants and animals that might be struggling a little bit, and a lot of my work is around helping people and animals both get what they need from the environments around us. I work with ranchers and landowners to help species at risk right here in Saskatchewan, such as the endangered burrowing owl or piping plover, and I help raise awareness on how these species are doing and how people can help them. So I also spend a lot of my time outside searching for rare species on the prairies, which I and my team then collect data on. So I've gotten the great chance to work with a lot of different animals and plants that people rarely get to see, which is pretty exciting. I've gotten to work with endangered and threatened birds, fish, insects, amphibians, mammals, and plants. One of the best parts of my job, though, is getting to be outside so much in the summertime, in areas of the province that have little human footprint, which means that I get to see some pretty cool places that not many people have been, such as sand dunes that make you think you're in the desert, or prairie grass waving in the wind as far as the eye can see. Being out and about so much means I get to see tons of wildlife and cool plants too. So I've always loved the outdoors and plants and animals that make it their home for as far back as I can remember. I knew right away as a kid that I wanted to be a biologist. I spent a lot of time with a camera outside taking pictures and going on hikes and driving adventures growing up. And it was always something I knew that I would be interested in doing as a career long term. I also knew I wanted to stay right here and work on the prairies. We're so lucky in Saskatchewan to be surrounded by so much nature, and I have always wanted to do my part to help other critters that call it home too. So I'm a strong believer that you should do something you love and are passionate about as your career for your work. For me, I'm very passionate about nature, and I wanted to do my part to ensure that all plants and animals that call Saskatchewan home will be here for years to come. In university, I was lucky enough to get some great student positions that really helped me get a feel for this field of biology and really helped me know that this is what I want to do. The prairies we call home are the most endangered ecosystem on the planet, even more than coral reefs or the rainforest. And I love being able to help inspire the passion to protect this habitat in the people I talk to and work with, people whose livelihoods also rely on keeping our grasslands healthy. Plus, the interaction with the species I work with is just amazing. I have gotten to do some pretty amazing things, and even though my job can be stressful sometimes, I would not trade it for the world. When you feel that way about your job, you know that you've chosen the right one for you. So as a female professional, I sometimes come across challenges that my male coworkers might not have. I work in very remote areas, usually with a team member, but sometimes by myself, that are often home to large livestock and animals and wildlife that can be dangerous if provoked. I also drive work vehicles out to these remote areas, and I'm on the road a lot over the summer months in all different conditions. Not often, but sometimes I come across some very old-fashioned thinking about some of the men I interact with, or from some of the men I interact with. I have been told that I shouldn't go out on the road without a man in case I get stuck or need to change a tire, or that it's too dangerous to be out somewhere as a woman without a man on her crew. And I and my field partner have even been told that someone wouldn't let their women out with coyotes in the area. While these comments are rare and usually they're well meant, they can be pretty frustrating and are all comments that are unfortunately I don't think many men in my field have to deal with while trying to do their job. As well, working in historically male-dominated professions is sometimes hard to be taken seriously and to ensure people you know what you are talking about and you can handle yourself. The most important thing is to have confidence in your skills, abilities, and knowledge, and to know that you can do your job just fine and others' opinions won't stop you from doing so. Stick up for yourself and know you have the support of other women in your field as well. So if there was one thing that I wish I knew when I was your age, is that labels don't really matter. I was definitely considered nerdy growing up, and I was often shy about being passionate about my interests, scared to be labeled as weird because I liked biology and science. I would say the biggest thing is to know that labels don't matter at all. All the best people are a little weird. Don't be afraid to be passionate about science and to go after a career that you know you'll enjoy spending your time at. Life is definitely more enjoyable when you get to do something you love. So we all had mentors or role models growing up, and it might sound cliche, but my mom was definitely a role model growing up for me. She was a single mom and a strong woman in her field. She never stopped encouraging me to go after what I loved doing, even if other professions might pay a little more or have a little more opportunities. Her love for the outdoors and teaching me her green thumb also helped me professionally with my species ID, which helped me land my first student job back in university in my field. I definitely owe her a lot. So the field of conservation biology is a wonderful mix of outdoors and people. I get to meet so many wonderful people that work with the land and care so much about their rangeland and are passionate about keeping it healthy, not only for their livestock, but for all animals and plants that are connected to it. My career is a wonderful mix of teaching, always learning new things from the people I talk to, and seeing absolutely beautiful and amazing sights. I also know that I'm working towards making the world a better place every day when I work towards saving these species, and giving back is just a wonderful feeling. If you are looking for something that is hands-on, boots on the ground, and makes a positive impact in the world, you should definitely consider this field of biology. More and more women are pursuing careers in biology, and as they join the workforce, old thinking and outdated opinions on who can do what are being pushed to the wayside where they belong. My office at the moment is women-dominated, and we have strong bonds and support each other in our careers, which is an absolutely wonderful feeling. So if you guys are interested in the field of conservation biology, it's definitely one I recommend that you learn more about, and I hope you really enjoyed hearing a little bit about it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabby Lorge and I'm the Nature Programs Technician here at the Saskatchewan Science Centre. Today, to tie into our nature section, I'm going to be doing an owl pellet dissection. Before we start, you may be wondering, what is an owl pellet? Well, owls are predators that eat meat. Owls can eat a variety of prey, which can include rodents, lizards, snakes, bats, and birds. They usually swallow their prey whole, or at least in large chunks, with all the bones, fur, and feathers still attached. In the owl's stomach, the soft meat matter is digested, but the fur and bones are regurgitated back out through the mouth in a little package or pellet. Think of an owl pellet as like a cat hairball. All owls do this, but the size of the pellet will vary depending on how big the owl is. They're usually 3 to 4 inches and can vary in color depending on what color of prey the owl eats. These pellets are extremely interesting to study, as the pellet will tell you what kind of prey the owl has been eating. It is common to find smaller bones of the prey in the pellet, but if you're lucky, you may find an intact skull. Let's start dissecting this pellet. Do you turn it down now, or just start doing it? Cool. Okay. So first, let's lay out all the materials on a table to see what we are working with. If you want, you can use gloves, though they don't come in the package. But these pellets have actually been cleaned really thoroughly and decontaminated of any bacteria, so you're more than welcome to just use your bare hands. Just make sure that you wash your hands after. Now to start, we want to take our owl pellet, and we're going to take off the tin foil, and we're going to place it on our plate. And our plate's going to be our workstation, so that we don't make a mess everywhere and we can keep track of all the stuff we find. You can also open up, we have a little magnifying glass, and we're going to be working with the wooden probe and also the tweezers. So to start, I'm going to use my wood probe. I'm actually going to start maybe with just my hands as well. And very carefully, because they are pretty fragile, but you want to start slowly breaking it apart. gonna look kind of gross at first, because there's gonna be a lot of fluff and fur and feathers and stuff like that, so we wanna get rid of all that. The main goal when you're doing an owl pellet dissection is you wanna get rid of all the fur and the fluff and the feathers, and we wanna separate out the bones that we find. So right off the bat, I found a bone here. It's really, really tiny. And the main goal is to get all that fluff and stuff off so that you can see it clearly. So kind of using the wood probe, you can use the wood probe, you can use the tweezers, and you want to just pull everything apart so you can lay it all out and see it really nicely. There you go. Now these pellets are pretty special. They are from a barn owl, and barn owls are really beautiful owls. And for some reason, their pellets always have intact skulls in them. These ones specifically, I'm not sure why. But if you guys are lucky, you might have luck for the rest of the year if you find a skull. So, and it actually looks like I found a skull, so I guess I have luck for the rest of the year. So don't be scared to kind of jump in there and kind of pull everything out. And just remember to be very careful as well, because they can be pretty fragile, the bones itself. So you want to just go through it very slowly. And when you feel confident that you've found lots of bones, what you can do is you can actually lay them out and use your little bone ID chart here to figure out what you have. So my skull is kind of looking like it's going to be a rodent skull, but I won't be able to tell until I actually fully pull everything off and be able to see it fully. So that's kind of the main goal with the dissection here, is you want to be able to pull all the fluff and the fur and the feathers and stuff like that off so that you can see all the bones clearly. Thank you everyone for participating today. I hope you enjoyed doing our owl pellet dissection together and that you learned a lot. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.